Thanks for your company. I'm Bernice Abubedulansa. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. The details now. Barely 24 hours after National Security Minister Albert Kandapa's announcement of the dismissal of his outfit's Director of Operations, Joy News checks reveal he's been reappointed the commanding officer of the 64 Infantry Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces. Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajaman and 3 police officers had been investigated for assault in City FM's Caleb Kuda. A report of the committee that investigated the matter established that the conduct of Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajaman and the officers was inappropriate and contravened the ministry's standard operating procedures. But a circular cited by Joy News shows the Lieutenant Colonel has been appointed the commanding officer of the 64 Infantry Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces. We'll bring you more on this in subsequent bulletins. Now, government has made no attempt to reconstruct or improve upon the quality of dams that were poorly constructed under the One Village, One Dam initiative. Neither has any budget allocation been made for further work to be done on the dams, most of which dried up during the dry season. You may recall that One Village, One Dam initiative was introduced by this government to construct dams in some villages in northern Ghana to support farmers to work during the dry season. The Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana recently went on a tour to inspect the dams in the Upper East region and says, except for watering of animals, farmers could not use the dams for any other purposes. Correspondent Albert Soria was on the tour with the Peasant Farmers Association and reports.
We started the tour from the Cabre community in the Bongo district. This was on the 10th day of May 2021. With the exception of this water in a deeply excavated portion of the dam's reservoir, the dam was dry. The community members stood in the portion that used to be the middle of the dam when it had water in it, and there they interacted with a team from the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. According to the people of Cabre, the quantity of this water only increased because it had rained 3 days before our visit.
After the 1 year, I can't confidently say the water dried completely, but it was not also like it is today, as a result of the rain. There was some small water there, but the rains that comes later on add up. We even kept a law that nobody should fetch from it. We wouldn't have water to even take care of our livestock.
This was the Cabre Dam when Joy News first visited independently in June 2019. The people had complained that they felt a better job could have been done with the construction. 2 years on, nothing has been done to improve on the quality of the dam, and the challenges persist.
During the construction of this dam, people were jubilating, thinking that after the construction of this dam, they will not go to serve site for the purpose of jobs. Because if they finish constructing this dam, maybe they will get some small job here to do, like farming and all other things. But unfortunately, they have not been able to meet it the way the people think.
Now it's serving at least one purpose, and the purpose is serving is for the livestock. We cannot get water for construction, we cannot get water for farming, which we expected the dam could serve us. So actually, we are now appealing to government if he can do something better so that they will reconstruct it so that it will also serve other purposes apart from livestock.
Next, we went to the Ayopia community, still in the Bongo district. We found community members, including young children, who had come to fetch water from the dam with donkey carts and tricycles. They told us they were fetching the water for construction purposes. Also, animals were coming here to drink, but there was no gardening whatsoever going on. The dam is serving a purpose. At least our animals drink here, and we come to fetch water for domestic uses. The challenge is that they have not returned to finish the work on the dam. The spillway is too large, so when it rains, most of the water in the dam flows out. In the Kasna-Nankana West District, the team from the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana visited the Kazego and Kajelo communities to inspect the dams constructed under the One Village, One Dam initiative. Again, the community members complained that no improvements had been made on the dams since they were first constructed.
I was in South, and they called me that they have constructed new dam for us so that we do our garden. So I came from Accra, but the rain season, the time I realized the water was not enough for us to do the garden. So I went to Accra again. It's right now that I came.
The Kajelo Dam in particular was in the limelight during the early stages of controversy regarding the One Village, One Dam initiative. Joy News visited in January 2020 and found that some farmers in the Kajelo community had made gardens with water from the dam, but eventually had to abandon some of their vegetables because the water in the dam had run out. Fast forward to the month of May 2021. Nothing has been done to improve upon the situation.
We use rainwater from July to September. Then October and part of November, we use the damp water and it will finish around November end. It's the recent rain that put in this water.
So it was completely dry?
Completely. Even when you come here in December, you won't get anything for animal stuff.
The Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana say they feel that government is gradually abandoning the projects, a situation they describe as unfortunate.
We've seen some dams in Upper West, we've seen others in Northern region, we've seen some in Northeast and Savannah region. If they want to use it to farm, that water cannot last for more than 1 month. So our appeal to the government, whichever ministry is taking over, we are appealing to them that the communities really need the water.
Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
Now to the Upper West region, chiefs and people of 3 Sisala districts and municipalities are demonstrating over being sidelined for the EU GAP productive investment projects on roads. They say that as the breadbasket of the region, they are yet to benefit from the road project aimed at carting farm produce to market centers. Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amoakwata broke the ground last Tuesday at Mungu on the one municipality for the 670.2 kilometer farm roads. The Farm Access Road project is a 35 million euro funded project, and 8 out of 11 districts in the Upper West region are to benefit from it. Rafiq Salam joins us with more. Hello Rafiq, tell us more on what the protesters have been saying.
Actually, it was a press conference that was attended by Paramount Chief from the Sisala East, Sisala West, and also the What East districts. Their claim has been that these 3 districts are the food basket of the Upper West region. One will also expanded the Sisala land is the leading producers of maize and also granules in the country. And so when it comes to this issue of this food, they think that they should not be left out. And so remember last week, the road minister, Kwesi Amoakwata, was in the Upper West region, to cast short for what will begin on the 670.2 kilometers road. And so out of 11 districts in the Upper West region, 8 districts will be benefiting from the project. But these 3 districts seem to be the food basket of the region are not going to be part of this project. And so they had a press conference and they are saying that enough is enough. The Sisala land has been committed for long and they will not sit down for these things to happen again. And so they are calling on the president to have a look at it and also revert so that they can also benefit from that project. And some are even saying that if the president fails to look into the issue, they will advise themselves. But some of the things that they are looking into, the press conference that was addressed by the paramount chief of Zinu traditional area, Kuru Abu Diaka, he stated that they want the president to look into the issue and face those people who left the Sisala district out, because they think that it's a disgrace, they think that they have a social, and they think that it should not happen.
Rafik, I can see that some tires are burning in your background. Is that part of the protest?
Yes, after the press conference, it was not part of it, but the youth coming from the Sisala Youth Forum, they were not really happy about the situation. They came to the middle of the road and then they bent these tires that are just behind you. So they are really not happy with the way things are going. But the elders are trying to calm things down. They are telling them that they should give them the opportunity to look into the issue with civility, and then what happens, they know what to do.
Rafik, was there any government rep at this protest, and do we have a response?
There was no government representative at this press conference, because they told us that it was purely apolitical. They don't want political figures to be here. They want the right thing to be done. And even we were even there when there was a call that was coming from the former deputy minister for Sujan Amirichi there, that he wants to speak on the forum through a phone, and they rejected and said this is not political, that is apolitical. But all political parties, NDC, MPP, PNC, all of them are represented at the gathering here.
We'll leave it here. Rafik Salam joining us from Sisala in the Upper West region. Now let's go back to that story. Barely 24 hours after National Security Minister's announcement of the dismissal of his outfit's Director of Operations, Joy News checks reveal that he had been appointed the commanding officer of the 64 Infantry Regiment. Well, my colleague Winston Amwa joins us with details. We understand that the minority will hold the security hierarchy to answer some questions on this situation. But Winston Amwa joins us with details of what our checks reveal. Winston, what do we know about this situation? Well,
so what we know, Bernice, is that that the Minister of National Security, in a statement on the 20th of May, indicated that some 4 persons, based on their investigations, had confirmed that they didn't act according to the standard operational practices or procedures of the Ministry of National Security. And so these persons whose secondments were from the police service and the military were reversed, and they had to go back to their mother institutions for investigation and action. Now, those were the words of the statement. But if you look at this memo that I have seen from the military, and this is number 29, talks about Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajiman. Now, he's been moved from Army Headquarters to the 64 Infantry Regiment as their commanding officer. Now, we've done our checks with the military, and based on the checks we have done with the military, it's been confirmed that indeed he has been transferred to the 64 Infantry Regiment as the commanding officer. And it took effect on the 21st of May. That notification was given to them on the 21st of May. Winston, is this normal for somebody who's been moved back to the mother organization while on secondment at another place to be given another position, and we still don't know what came up with the investigations that his mother organization was supposed to have conducted? Well, so we've been speaking to security analyst Dr. Ishmael Norman. We've been trying to find out these things from him. Now, he expressed surprise at the speed with which the transfer was done or the new position was given to him. But he has indicated that, he believes the military would conduct its own investigations. But while the military waits to conduct its own investigations, Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajiman should be engaged in something. And the military has decided that he should be the commanding officer of the 64 Infantry Regiment, which is a specialized unit of the Ghana Armed Forces. He also says that he has confidence in the military, and he believes that if the investigations are completed and he's found to have done anything wrong, he'll be giving the appropriate punishment. So we should give the military the benefit of the doubt and follow up to see the conclusion of that investigation. And we have been picking reactions from Parliament already over this. Yes, the minorities expressed, its own shock at that, reservations about it. They want the Minister of National Security to be held before the House. A few questions asked of him. We'll see what happens.
Winston Amwa is deputy head of our political desk, bringing us details of that story that Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajuman has been given a different position, as it were, to head the 64 Infantry Regiment as its commanding officer. We'll bring you more on this in subsequent bulletins. Now to some heartbreaking story. 4-year-old Felix Amin has developed a tumor leading to abnormal swelling of his head. Doctors say he will not live past his 5th birthday if badly needed surgery is not done immediately. But his parents have since December 2020 spent all their resources on medications in order to reduce his pain and are unable to fund the surgery. Felix is now paralyzed with his life hanging in the balance. You may find portions of the story disturbing. Correspondent Maxwell Kudeko visited his family at Achimoda and reports.
His parents, since December 2020, have spent all their resources on drugs in order to reduce his pains, but medical doctors say they need to operate on Felix Amenin in order to save his life. Medical doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital hint they need to run craniotomy, excision, and cranioplasty on Felix Amenin immediately, as his condition will deteriorate. Georgina Amponsa is mother of Felix Amenin.
Every December, last year December, and I'm who said Akolanity near home, and I'm starting semi 2-1 and then a papa and a 2-1 mamma ecope boadria. The doctor natures ordinary bishop machine. No way to know what the Kodia have for land. Ocherry na your papa J report not say. Said you money don't mean your Akolan akoye tiri masem nti yemfa nko Kolebu no refer ye ko Kolebu ye ko ho mienu ye ko na last hour ye ko na doctor no o tire se yenko ne yenko ase ho no omumfa ye kamaye na ye ko koje na chese e kana e wo so no eso ne papa nso sesi a ye hu ska nyina asa ye nante ho sa ska bi enfu ba bi ma kano 300 million ne akire o se eye yare bi na ho ne tinimu na ba ya chebe ye 1 year ni ye na ye hu ne se na anu ya na ehu ya de wo hodada.
His condition is not getting better. It has further affected his education. According to the doctors, the condition will be worsened if nothing is done immediately. They say his sight may be affected and he may further paralyze in the coming days.
They say I saw Nisisi, Nenani now, would dear Gropa now bubu form. Mamma brain, Nemum, the Omokan is a mamma manenche. I can't make a crab, be a perfect Sakolaneni, a beman and near flat. And 9 a.m. so bit me a bubu form. Mobile yareful.
Unfortunately, Felix is now paralyzed. As of 21st of May 2001, Felix couldn't stand on his own. Medical doctors are demanding 30,223 cedis, 65 pesos, before the surgery can be done.
My passion almost at a miniska number. And some normal Rakolana. Miss Rado for say, Omo woman is canation. It didn't mean you do maybe a Miss Roma saw Omo woman. This young's won't mean the drama do Bessusa. And I over to me, Susa, we don't want no good work from Miss Rado for an impany for some woman.
Really heartbreaking story there, and that little Felix plea for help. If you want to help him, it's 30,000 he needs. Please just reach out to us here and we'll gladly extend your help to him. We'll take a quick breather here to stay. Thank you for staying here on Joy News today with me, Bernice Abubedulansa. The Savannah Region Security Council is this afternoon in the central Gonja district following a communal clash between two farming communities there. It's unclear what may have triggered the brawl between the Kijasa and Lansupe communities, which has led to a death and 3 persons, including a police officer, in critical condition. At a press conference Sunday, Public Relations Officer of the Savannah Regional Police Command, Chief Superintendent Ajekum Owusu, said his men were on the ground to address the impasse. But District Chief Executive for the Central Gonja District, Mustafa Mahama, who doubles as the District Security Council Chairman, attributed the clash to a long-standing land dispute between the two communities. According to him, there is a particular gravel pit where trucks go to fetch gravel and pay 10 cedis per truck. But the followers of these two chiefs, Kasim of Kijasa and Yakubu of Lansupe, clashed over who has the right to take proceeds from the truck drivers. Our man in the Savannah region is following that particular meeting with the Security Council, and we'll give you updates in subsequent bulletins. Now, government statistician Professor Samuel Enim says the Ghana Statistical Service is ready to conduct the 2021 National Population Census with the requisite personnel, protective equipment to ensure adherence to COVID-19 preventive protocols. He was speaking at a news conference organized by the Information Ministry.
The second major thing that I want to highlight on has to do with the fact that within this COVID-19 era, all of us are worried about the intent that our enumerators going to the households would have on the infection rate. I want to mention to all persons in Ghana that we are taking all the necessary steps to ensure that the census adheres to the strict protocols of COVID-19. What are some of the things that we are doing? We have already engaged with the Ministry of Health through the Ghana Health Services, and again had engagement with Dr. Anthony Nsiansari, who is the Presidential Advisor on Health, and a confirmation has been given that all 85,000 field officials that we're going to engage from the beginning of 31st May 2021 would be vaccinated. So over the period 31st May 2021 to 9 June 2021, all our 85,000 field supervisors would go through the vaccination exercise.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Enim also announced that census materials are being dispatched to various regions ahead of its commencement.
Where we are with our census undertaking, members of the press, all our strategies have been finalized again with 8 days ahead of the training exercise. All that we are doing now is handing over the census undertaking to the production unit, which is the enumeration areas where we're going to do the census exercise. In the past 3 weeks, we visited 13 of the 16 regional coordinating councils. We've personally engaged with the regional ministers. We have only 3 of the regional coordinating councils outstanding, and hopefully in the course of the ensuing week, we're going to engage with the 3 other regional coordinating councils with the regional minister leading the engagement. In addition to that, we have been able to dispatch to 8 out of the 16 regions all our census materials, and our expectation is that by Thursday, that is prior to the 30-day countdown, which I indicated that the president would be launching, we would have had all our logistics in the district where, as I indicated, are the headquarters of our production units, which is the enumeration areas.
Away from the population census, on the day he retired after serving as a parish priest for the past 50 years in Ghana, Father Andrew Campbell of Christ the King Church at Cantonment in Accra says he will remain in the priesthood fraternity by working behind the scenes for the rest of his life. At a ceremony to mark the 70th anniversary of the Catholic Church and official send-off mass for the 75-year-old, Father Andrew Campbell, who's over the years championed the cause of lepers, together with Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, said he will not relent in doing God's work and reaching out to the less privileged in society. The soft-spoken, charismatic founder of the Lepers Aid Committee encouraged the general public to support a new foundation he intends to set up to oversee his philanthropic interventions. Latif Idris has the rest of the story.
After doing God's work for 50 years, Father Andrew Campbell, who has served the Christ the King, is finally bidding farewell to the church. But he says he is not going out as at yet, even though he is taking a bow as the parish priest of the Catholic Church here at Cantonment. He is moving on and will still work in the background, do God's work, and now join the Weija Leprosarium, where he's expected to live together with the lepers, to tell us his next steps as he leaves the church officially today. Congratulations on your service, Father Campbell. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
When you left Ireland some 50 years ago, what was the expectation you had when you stepped foot from your shores back home here in Ghana?
I don't know what to expect because I'd never been to Africa before. I hardly ever talked to an African person or mine a Ghanaian. So I was open to anything. I was only a young priest of 25 and I came across on a boat from Liverpool to Tema, and I didn't know what to expect. But I came here and I'm still here.
50 years on, what would you say is the greatest satisfaction you've had doing God's work?
I just love being a priest. I just love preaching. I just love being with people. I love being with the poor and the needy and encouraging in home. That's what gives me the greatest satisfaction. That's helped me over the years. And the more I go on as a Catholic priest helping people, the more I love it and I thank God.
And then so this led you to set up the Lepers Aid Committee, and then you had a support from yet another man who's also like to support the less privileged, that's the Vice President. Tell us about that partnership now that you are exiting officially as the parish priest here. What's the way forward?
Oh, we'll work hand in hand together, that's for sure. He's always supported me in all my various activities over the years. Nothing to do with Christ the King. Lepers Aid is not just for Christ the King, it's a countryside for the whole country. And I know he will support me in every way.
So you have the Lepers Aid. Now you intend to set up yet another foundation. Tell me about that.
I want the Father Campbell SVD Foundation. That'll be on the top. And the Lepers Aid, Street Children and others will be underneath that. So the foundation will be helping everybody.
Are you having any fears now that you are moving to stay and live on the same compound with the lepers? Are you having any fears? A lot of people stigmatize against people.
I'm with them for the past 45 years, and look at me, I'm fine. So I have no fears, none whatsoever, none. I've been with them all these years. If anybody should get leprosy, it should be me. I hug them, I shake hands, I do all of these with them.
So you rule out going back to Ireland?
Oh yes, I mean I'll stay here. No, I'll stay here. No, that's...
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who was the special guest of honor, described Father Campbell's leadership and philanthropic way of serving the Catholic Church and the communities as exemplary, calling on others to emulate the life that he has lived with the Catholic Church. And even so, now that he moved on to join the lepers back in Weija.
Just over half a century ago, a young 25-year-old priest left his home in Ireland, left his church community, mother, father, and the entire family, and graced our shores. For 50 years, he has contributed his quota to our society, be it his vocation or growing the extra mile. This I can say he has in all propriety done. His work here at Christ the King and other parishes his work with the lepers across the country, the Children's Hospital, and the street children lay bare his unflinching dedication to his vocation and humanity. I'm hopeful that as a Ghanaian, he will continue to contribute to our society in diverse ways. I did not quite know until he said it today that he voted in the last election. If I had known you had a voter's ID card, I might have campaigned.
Very interesting way to end that report. You're watching News Today with me, Bernice Abubedu-Lansa. Coming up shortly in business, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is urging the Agricultural Development Bank to accelerate disbursement of funds meant for agricultural purposes under the CARES program. Darryl Kwao has details after this.
Hi, time for some business news. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture is urging the Agricultural Development Bank to accelerate the disbursement of funds meant for agric purposes under the CARES program. Now, according to the Acting Chief Director, Robert Ankobia, 20 million cedis has been allocated to the livestock sector in the agric value chain. Hence, accelerating the disbursement process will bring hope to the sector. He was speaking at the 3rd Livestock, Poultry and Fisheries Training and Trade Show. Here's more in this report.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture has urged the Agricultural Development Bank to accelerate the disbursement of funds meant for agricultural purposes under the Ghana CARES program. Acting Chief Director at the Ministry, Robert Ankobia, made the call while speaking at the 3rd Livestock, Poultry and Fisheries Training and Trade Show.
CARES program, or what they call the Obatampa program, which is designed, to bring about some stabilization in the economy and also, revitalize enterprises. And the agricultural sector happens to be one of the few productive sectors that has been selected to benefit from this facility. And for agriculture, we presented our program, our priorities, and I'm glad to report that the animal sector, featured, and an amount of 20 million Ghana cedis has been allocated. There is hope. I would only like to appeal to ADB to fast-track their disbursement. I know that as a financial institution, the risk element is something that you're always looking at.
General Manager for Agribusiness at ADB, Kwame Esiedu Atrams, revealed that the bank has rolled out 500 million cedis to revive the livestock subsector. He reassured ADB's commitment to supporting the agricultural sector.
There are different kinds of financing for different levels of production and companies. And therefore, it is very helpful to know what you qualify for, because the dynamics for accessing each of these are different.
Now, banking consultant Anoto Champong has said the use of national ID cards for banking transactions will reduce incidents of fraud. He says the controls are needed, especially as Ghana is being taken off the list of countries with money laundering deficiencies. Mr. Otoe Champong spoke with my colleague in Sharado.
I think it's best for control purposes. And all these are coming about as part of the anti-money laundering legislation. Ghana was recently grey-listed, and fortunately by the end of the month, we are going to be taken off. So you have to ensure that your systems are so seamless that the fraud issues will be reduced. Nobody can eliminate completely, but it will be reduced. So the more cards you have in the system, different types of cards in the system, the more difficult it becomes to reduce the fraud incidences of fraud. So I think having one card to cater for all, where we'll be able to put in the necessary controls, is the way forward, and it's good that we do that.
Now, without being cynical, I quite recall when we first had like the SIM registration exercise some years ago. And then soon after that, people could go on the black market and be able to buy pre-registered SIM cards. Yes. It suggests to the lay mind that we may put in all these controls, but it may not provide the foolproof sanity that we want, the sanctity of the security. What's your opinion on that school of thought?
Yeah, you're right. And then it goes to show that no matter what you do, there will always be some gaps somewhere. And which means that the less different cards you have, the better it is.
All right, there's more coming up on the marketplace at the top of the hour. Meantime, more news on our website, myjournline.com/business. Up next is sports.
Hello, good afternoon. Time now to share with you some sports stories on Joy News today. I am Muftau Nabila Ablai, president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Ben Nunumensa, he says that constant negative reportage about sports in the country has affected efforts of administrators to attract sponsors to support their activities. Speaking during a 2-year sponsorship agreement signed with Trillium Ghana, Ben noted that negativity is a canker of Ghana sports.
There are two big problems in our sports today. One is lack of funding in our sports. And the second one is the negative branding of our sports. If we're able to address the second issue, it automatically solves the first problem, and that is the lack of funding. Our sports cannot develop only on the shoulders of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and then our Minister, Honorable Yusuf. It cannot. They need the support of corporate Ghana. In other words, they need the support of big brand owners like Trillium, like Toyota, like Ashford, so that they can develop our sports and create a future for our youth. How do we get that support from these big brands? It's only possible when they hear good things about our sports. Because if I'm the brands manager for a particular brand, there is no way I want to associate my brand with a negative brand. I want to hear good things about that brand. Then I can say, let me go and support that brand. So I am a bit worried about the too many negative branding that we're giving to our sports. There are over 95% good things happening in our sports. The only negative things, which most of them are human error or our own created negative news, is hurting.
And former Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, George Efriye, he says that he will fight the decision of the football governing body to reduce Division 1 clubs from 48 to 18. According to him, a reduction in the number will affect the size of Congress, and that will hand the future of FA elections to the highest bidder.
Of 48 Division 1 clubs to 18. I am strongly against it. Ask me why. You see, our country is divided in such a way that the 48 stars suits it now. In future, when we have the resources and big money coming in, sponsorship coming in, we will go for the 18 or 20 or 22. I don't have a problem. But currently, as things stand now, it is so difficult to ask a club from Wa to travel to Pandu without any sponsorship. How is the club going to run such a football team? It's very, very difficult. And Muftau, you see, FIFA, the old FIFA under Blatter, wanted a smaller number for our congresses. So in Blatter's era, they advocated that the countries must reduce the number of people who vote to choose their leaders and all that. Even in Nigeria, it's 40-something. But me, in Ghana, and I will make a strong case, I will write to FIFA and explain, me in Ghana, I am against it. You know, we shouldn't sit here and pretend. The kind of things that happen in our primaries, be it political, be it whatever. You know it. If you have a smaller number, it is so easy for people to buy all of them. I'm telling you. So me, anything that will reduce the size of Congress, I'm not for it. I am not for it.
Are you suggesting that oftentimes electorates are bought?
Muftau, I am saying that I had a friend who participated in, I won't mention the party, in a recent primaries. And the guy was coming home with 2 TV, one left, one right. Cash, I won't mention it. Here, in Ghana. Don't pretend. We know. So I'm saying that in our election, you know the kind of things that came out that we had. So I'm saying anything that reduces the number, me, George Free, and I will write to FIFA and explain why the situation in our part of the world, that I don't go for a smaller number. Because once you go for a smaller number, you have just rendered the election to the highest bidder. I'm being honest and I'm saying it frankly.
And talking about congresses, Kate Okreko has been named as the president of the Waffle Union for Zone B. The Ghana Football Association boss was unanimously approved as the leader of the regional body by all 7-member associations during the Waffle Zone B 14th General Assembly in Accra on Saturday. He promised massive strides for the football development in the zone.
My colleagues on the high table, my colleagues here in Guarded, now let's look into the future. A future to re-energize our zone. A future to make our zone more dominant on the African continent. A future to ignite passion and to create wealth for our zone members. A future to improve the capacity of our people in our zone. A future to revive and to add more football products to what we already have. A future of great levels of accountability. A future of great comradeship and unity amongst our members in this zone. It is very clear that together as a family, our zone has a massive future. And in saying this, I have a very simple message to our 2 important colleagues on the FIFA Executive Council, and also to my senior colleague on the CAF Executive Council. Waffle B would continue to be your home. Your high levels of experience and expertise will be very much needed in our forward march. Don't think that you're going to sleep, because I'm going to knock on your doors.
That's our time will permit us for Sports on Joy News today. I am Muftau Nabila Apply. Head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more stories. As you can see just right behind me here, Ghana Rugby, Herbert Mensah fights suspension at the High Court. We broke the story on AM and we've published all the details. The document is also embedded in that very story for you to have a read.
And we bring you another one this time round from an African country. DR Congo's Mount Nyiragongo erupts, sparking mass evacuation. Thousands of people have fled their homes in the Democratic Republic of Congo after Mount Nyiragongo erupted, threatening their home city of Goma. Lava from the volcano lit up clouds over the eastern city, which has a population of 2 million. So those are some photos you see there of the mountain erupting and some homes there. Well, people tried to douse the flames as the lava flowed, engulfing parts of the city. So there you see a gentleman holding some form of a bucket trying to douse the flames. And lava could be seen. There you see in between some homes, and city residents fled with mattresses and other belongings. That'll be all for International News Update and this edition of Joy News Today with me, Bernice Abubedu Lansa. I really appreciate your company. Do log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. The Marketplace is up next. Stay for details.